Yeah.
Okay, sir. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you very much for honoring my invitation. I'm
Thank,
grateful.
thank you
It's
so
not
much.
it's not easy to pull someone of your caliber from Twitter to Instagram, and I miss your
Oh
busy
well.
schedule. You just have a way of responding to me. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, bro. How's it
I'm
going?
grateful. Very well, very well, very. I've spent today indoors. It was practically raining all through today, so
Mm.
I spent the whole day trying to upload a course on kaizenacademy.co. We
Oh
just
wow.
recently launched an online education platform. Yes, so
Yeah, I saw
I've
it when I was looking at your profile.
yes, sir.
I saw
Yes,
it.
sir.
I was
So
like, oh, okay, that's cool.
thank you. Now we inspire us. Now how we go do now. We cannot drink from
We
your wells
try.
of wisdom and not do something with our lives. Abi?
We try.
Thank you so much, sir. So
Yeah.
let's go straight to the business of today. So now I know you, a lot of people here know you, but for the sake of formalities, I want to ask you to tell us about yourself a little. Who is Ronald Nzimora? Let's meet you, sir.
Okay. Okay, you guys already know the name. I'm from Anambra. I live in Lagos. Um, I run I run there are two businesses, a real estate company and a digital marketing firm. That was the first one. I've been running that since 2010. It's actually 10 years.
Wow,
Wow.
wow,
Wow.
wow, wow,
It's really
nice.
10, yeah. So we started a second company, a real estate company, 2 years ago, 2018. So I got started online in 2003. That's 17 years now.
Wow, wow,
Yeah, I was a student.
wow. That's like the age of some people.
Yeah,
17
so
years.
to say I born picking that year like this, you don't turn
The
17
person
years.
for under 17. Wow, wow,
Yeah.
wow.
So
Nice,
so
nice, nice.
yeah. So I started. I was a student. So first 4 years.
We stopped hearing you, sir. We stopped hearing you.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Oh, yes, we can hear you now. We can hear you
Okay.
now. So I want to ask
So
before you go ahead, are you about to tell us the 916 naira to 35 billion naira story? Because
well, that
that
comes
was
much
that was the
later.
next thing I was going to ask you.
Ah. So anyway, I started in 2003, and then
Okay.
well, 17 years later, here we are.
Wow, beautiful. Beautiful. So yeah, like I really want you to tell us that story. The 916 naira to 35 billion naira.
Oh
Like
boy.
it seems
Okay.
like magic.
Okay. So it was 2007. I had left school, and so I was home, and my dad wanted me to go back. You guys can hear me, right? So he wanted me to go
Yes,
back.
sir.
I didn't want to go back, right? And so he said, oh, you know what? You're not going to stay in my house if you're not going to go back to school. So I was
Are you
like,
serious? Wow.
okay, cool. I'm leaving. When you're young, you're foolish a lot of times.
True.
Yeah, yeah. So anyway, I left and I was in Festag. I found myself in Festag, and so I was staying in this house, no windows, no doors.
Wow.
The people who lived there, they said they were the ones who fixed those things. So when they were leaving, they pulled out everything and left with it.
Wow.
So so when I got there, I wanted somewhere to stay. So the people around there had a friend there at the time. So he talked to the people who lived there. So they said, "Oh, you can stay there if you want to." So until the place is rented again. So I was staying there. It had basically nothing with just some old cartons that I would lie on and sleep at night. There was a paint bucket with some paint in it, so I had to wash it out. And so I'll wash it. I'll use it to drink garri because I didn't have money to buy plates or spoons or anything like that.
From the paint bucket.
Yeah, yeah. So
Wow.
I would wash it. I will go to there was a well in the close. if you know Festac well, you probably understand what I'm saying. So at the end of the close, there's a well. So I'll go there, fetch water with a bucket, take my bath, and then wash it so that I don't die of, I don't catch typhoid. So I'll wash it and then use it to drink gari or whatever it is that I found, to eat. And then, so the idea was really, I was trying to make a living. So I'll go to people's houses and I'll get old magazines, old newspapers, old junk, because I use the idea of eBay, right? So old junk, a lot of the stuff they didn't want, then I'll take it and then resell it to Hausa people, right? Because I noticed that a lot of Hausa people bought old stuff, however, for recycling or something. I really didn't care what they used it for. All I knew was I just wanted to make some money. Yeah. So that was what I was doing. So I was getting some money, but I was trying to conserve enough money so I have enough money to browse for 1 hour every day. So browsing time in the cyber cafe then was $100. So no matter what happened, I wanted to make sure that I had $100 every day to browse and learn some more about the internet. So this is after 4 years of a little bit of success here and there, but largely failure. The previous year, 2017, I made about $2,000, and I withdrew
And did you just say
1,000.
2017?
Yeah, in 2017 November, I sold my first ebook. 2017 November, I had about $2,000. That's a whole other story. The book, a whole other story, long story. So I don't want to get into it, but maybe some other time.
We stopped hearing you.
Sorry?
We stopped hearing you, but we can hear you now.
Okay, so I opened a PayPal account with a Niger address because you couldn't open PayPal then from Nigeria.
Nigeria.
So the $2,000 was paid into that account from the site where the payment processor that I was using at the time. It was called pay.com.com. It no longer exists now. Anyway, so they paid this money. I transferred $1,000 to some exchangers who paid me in Naira equivalent, and then I went ahead to spend it like an idiot. Right? So, and then I go back to get the other 1,000, and PayPal had locked the account. So PayPal owes me $1,000.
$1,000 just go like that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Anyway,
so $460,000 with that though.
Yeah. Yeah. So PayPal owes me. They are going to pay me however long it takes. Anyway, so fast forward 2008. So I'm here in this house, and I was to attend a seminar at Okota at my mentor's place. He's now my mentor. Then he wasn't my mentor yet because I hadn't met him. So I called up my sister and begged her to give me the money. She was working at the bank then. So she lent me the money. So I used it to pay for this seminar, and I was there for 6 days, and I was blown away. So a lot of the things that I had done in 2017, I saw how to actually do it in Nigeria, because 2017 I didn't know any better, so I was selling to the foreign market, right? So I was like, okay, it's actually easy just selling this into Nigerians and just collecting Naira straight up, right?
You mean 2007, sir?
Mm-hmm. No, 2007, yes. Sorry, not 17.
2017. No.
7.
All right, sir.
Yeah. Anyway, so I did, after the event, I started, I had about 3,500 left or something, or 4,000 something, anyway, cash. So I ran an advert for 3,500. I made only one sale, and my price point was 2,500. So I lost $1,000. But the fact that someone in Nigeria bought something from me told me that it was possible, that I was on the right track, right? So I had this 2,500 in my hands, no other money, and I had to eat, I had to browse, I had to do all of that, and this money was running out fast. And it kept running out and running out and running out until I was down to the last 1,000. I was like, jeez. And then I had to spend some more of it. So it was about 960 left. So I was like, boy, if this money finishes, you're
You're
in
gone.
trouble because nobody is going to give you nothing, right? And my sister had told me, look, don't come back again. Don't ask me for anything again, right? So I had to think. I had to think. So my idea was, wait a minute, I can bonds. I knew a lot of free ebook websites, right? So I had downloaded a number of them from those ebook websites, and I knew that a lot of them had private label rights, right? So private label rights means that I could take it, I could put my name on it if I wanted, I could resell it, right? I could basically do anything I wanted with the book. The owners of the book had given the permission to do that. So what I did was I went to that site. So I took this 960. I went to Ojalaba International Market and I bought 100 empty CDs for about $500. And then I bought the sleeves for the to put the CDs inside. I think it was about 100 naira, right? And then I came back and I called my sister again. I said, no, I'm not calling you for money. But I want to borrow your laptop because I have these CDs I need to burn. Her laptop then had a CD burner. So I borrowed her laptop and I had a flash drive that had downloaded all of those private label rights books inside. So I went back to the cyber cafe, I plugged in the laptop and I started burning the CDs. So by the time I got to CD number 48, I'm not going to forget, the burner stopped working. So wow. I had 48 CDs. So what I did again was I created a 4x4 box table in Microsoft Word. Oh shit! Don't mind me. I'm covering the stuff, so
okay,
you guys can hear me. Sorry, I was holding it the wrong way before. So,
right.
So I created a 4-box table in Microsoft Word, and I took the titles, some of the catchy titles of the books, and I pasted them inside the boxes. And then I printed it out in the cyber cafe, I think for another $100. So I printed it out. So now I had 4 boxes of titles, right?
Yes.
And then I went and did photocopies because I didn't have enough money to print out everything and cut them. So I just went and did photocopies and then I cut them and then I put them into the sleeves for the CDs because the sleeves were transparent so that people could see the contents of the CDs. Basically, I was trying to create like a label, right? So I did that, and then the next Saturday I went to a seminar venue. So by then I knew, because I was going to a lot of free seminars, right? So I knew a lot of the halls that people use to do free seminars. So I went to a seminar venue and I waited for break time. So by the time break time rolled around, people came out to buy food, maybe to stretch their legs and all of that. And I started walking up to them and say, hey, you know what? You're going to love these books. You know, they're books about marketing, about success, about all of that. How much is it? It's $1,000. And the first person bought. By the way, I'm still friends with that first guy that bought.
Wow.
Still friends with him now.
That's like your first real big customer.
Yeah, and he's doing really, really well now in internet marketing, really, really well. His name is Benga Akinwole. So,
beautiful.
So I started selling this stuff, and that day I sold 22 for $1,000. And then I came back the next day.
You sold 22. That's 22,000 naira.
22,000, yeah. That day, like it was like a miracle, right? You know, so I went from this money that was almost gone to 22,000. So the next day I came back and I sold another 13. So I had sold about 35, and So I just knew that okay, it's like this thing is working.
There's something here.
There's something here. So now I couldn't use my sister's laptop any longer because she was pissed because the burner wasn't working anymore anyway. So I now went to Computer Village and realized that I could actually burn CDs at Computer Village for a lot cheaper. So what I will do is I will buy 100 empty CDs. I'll go to Computer Village. I'll burn them. I'll go to seminar venues and wait for break time and sell. Right. So over the next 3 months, I sold probably 800K worth of CDs.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but it was gruesome work, right? It was gruesome work. I didn't like it, but my motto is to do what is necessary until you can do what is possible.
I
So I just
saw
did
that on
what
your
is
page,
necessary.
yes.
Yeah. So I just did what is necessary, basically, right? Um, so basically, what I did was I now took all of that money and I started writing ebooks, my own ebooks. In fact, I wrote that my first ebook was about how I did that, how
Wow.
to make money from seminar venues without spending a dime. That was the title of my first ebook. So I basically detailed what I did, right? I think I can't remember the exact figures now, but probably over 300K worth of that also,
Wow.
and from there, everything just took off, So that's the story. Now, will I tell someone to do that today? I really don't know. I probably will not tell someone to go do that today, right? But the point is to start with what you have, really,
Exactly.
just to figure it out and start with what you have, and then just grow in increments gradually, and to understand that this thing is not a sprint; it's a marathon, right? So as much as people want to succeed really fast, they need to know that it's not going to happen in a flash. Increments, basically. So I think that's the lesson there. If there is a lesson there.
There are a lot of lessons, not just one. I've been writing down, sir. There are a
Yeah.
lot of lessons. There are a lot of lessons. Like, for example, like you even knew where to go and sell the CDs. You are not taking it to church to go and sell it. You are taking it to
Mhm.
seminar venues. That means you have already identified your market and you know, okay,
Yeah,
this is where they are really going to need this stuff. And
absolutely.
then you are going to those places every Saturday. Like, that is wow. Wow,
Absolutely.
beautiful. Beautiful. So, like, haven't done all this, like, your story is like really, really inspiring,
Mhm.
right? What would you say is the most important skill any person going into business should have?
Well, you should learn how to sell. See, you could. I sent out a newsletter this morning to my email list, and I said you could take away everything that I have, right? I live without fear now. In fact, for a number of years, I've lived without fear. Nothing bothers me so much. Nothing worries me so much. If it's not my daughter or my wife or a family member, or a loved one, in trouble, nothing really bothers me so much. And that's because I've learned how to sell. I think everybody needs to learn how to sell. It's the most important skill in life. Because the funny thing is that every day people sell, they just don't know it, right? If you have a young kid and you have children and you get them to behave, you're selling. You're selling them on behaving,
Behavior.
right? If a young guy asks a lady out and she says yes, you sold her on you, right? If you go to the market and they say, it's 200 naira and you negotiate it down to 150, you sold them on a discount. Everybody sells every day. We just don't know it, right? So the important thing is to now make it a conscious thing, right? So the most important skill is to learn how to sell, how to use words, whether the word is spoken word, whether it's written word, but how to use words to sell because everything is the
brings
same.
me to brings me
Everything is
to
the
what
same.
Andy Mukolo said. Andy Mukolo was on my live 3 days ago, and he said, "You're the biggest copywriter in Nigeria," and I don't doubt that at all. Like I've been following your work so far. Like I remember, like before I worked on my last sales page, I had to
Mhm.
I had to go through your own sales page and looked at it. I said, "How did the boss structure this thing? What was he
Mhm.
thinking when he said this?" So like
Yeah.
you're a boss when it comes to copywriting. So like
Wow.
at one point in
That's
your
cool.
business journey, did you learn copywriting?
Okay, it was out of consequence, right? I didn't know what I was doing until I did it. So in 2007, I was going to say 2017 again, don't mind me. So in 2007, right, so I'll tell that story now. So in 2007, right, I had come to the conclusion that I needed a product. I needed to sell something if I really wanted to make money online. I needed to sell something because I had tried all sorts of things. I had tried randomizers, surveys. I had tried all sorts. So when I see people do some things now, I laugh because we did that shit 10 years ago and it didn't work. How do you think it's going to work in 2020, right? So practically tried everything. You know, a little bit of success here, but mostly failure. And it just occurred to me one day that wait a minute, all of the big guys are selling something. They're selling either a course or a book or so I was like, wait a minute, what I should be doing is actually have my own product. But the problem was I didn't know what to write about, right? So the only thing that I knew to do was that I had a ton of motivational books,
Okay.
a ton of them. In fact, I was the most motivated person in the universe at the time. I just didn't have money. Right. you know, you know. So so I said, okay, I'm going to write a motivational book. Okay, but then I said, okay, if you write about success now, what
What
have you
success?
achieved? What have you achieved? you know, so what have you achieved? So so I said, okay, I'm not going to do that. So I started thinking, what niche in self development isn't crowded, and a lot of people haven't, you know, written things about, and it just hit me, mentorship. So I said, huh,
Wait, wait.
that's true. I'm going to write a book about how to get a mentor. Now, the second problem was I didn't have one
You didn't have a mentor.
at the time. So I
It,
was like,
it's
ah,
so funny to
well,
me because the other day I saw somebody on Instagram with 90 followers, and then his bio says, I help small businesses blow up their Instagram accounts. I'm like, Oga, you have 90
and
followers.
you had
How are you supposed
90.
to help me? How are you supposed to help me grow my Instagram account? So yeah. So I just
Oh,
believe we should not even
goodness.
don't even say, just try to grow your own first, and then you can
Yeah.
now talk about it.
Exactly. You know, so I didn't have a mentor at the time, and so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and write this thing. I'm going to do research, figure out how to make it work, how to do it. So I spent time researching. I practically no books on the topic. So in retrospect, thinking about it now, I'm thinking maybe it wasn't really an area that people were reading books about. So that was why the guys then, even abroad, were not writing about it, right? So so I wrote a book about it, basically, you know, and then I won't forget this chapter that I called rules to 5 or 7 rules. I can't remember now, either 5 or 7 rules to make sure you never lose your mentor. And one of them was stay away from his women, his wife, his nieces, his aunties, his I don't even know why the hell I put that there. You know. So so anyway, so I wrote this book, and so after writing it, I was like, oops, I need a website. So what do I do? So I was like, okay. So I took some money from my feeding money in school, and then I paid someone to teach me a website. I was learning on my own, so I already had an idea. All what I didn't know was how to embed an opt-in form in HTML. That was what I didn't know at the time how to do. So this guy, I paid him. I kept pushing him to get to that point where he would just show me how to embed a form. So he was like, "No, you've got to start from the basics. Understand what you are doing." I was like, "Oh yeah, I already know all of this. Just show me this thing." But the moment he showed me that, I never went back. It was supposed to be a 3-day one-on-one class. Eventually, I just learned that. I never went back again. you know. So anyway, so I was like, so I started building my website. So I I did the layout, and I was like, "Oops, I need a sales letter. Shit. So how do I write a sales letter?" Right? And I was like, okay, I love writing, but I've not this is writing to sell now, right? So even though I loved writing and had done a lot of writing, this was different. So what I did was there's this guy that I follow. I still follow him now. In fact, we follow each other, so we talk now. His name is Joe Vitale. He's one of the biggest magicians in the US, one of the biggest hypnotists, right, in the world, not just the US. His name is Joe Vitale, and he's also big on self-development. In fact, he's one of the big gurus. He was in The Secret. If you know The Secret movie, he was there. So he had this website called Pelmanism Online that I read, and I was hooked. I so wanted to buy that. The only reason why I didn't buy it was because I didn't have money to buy it. And back then, it wasn't so easy to buy stuff online or like now, because then, in fact, as of 2003, there were no ATM cards, no Facebook. Google was like 4 years old, right? No Instagram. You guys are enjoying now, right? We started this thing when
I swear, I swear.
No ATM card, no nothing. The internet we had to do overnight browsing to be able to do something worthwhile. So, so I went back to his site. So I was looking, I was like, okay, he has this thing up here that is catchy, which is the headline, and then he has an opening. So what I did was I now wrote my own headline, and so if any of you guys are watching, you can go to just go to online and search for Wayback Machine in Google. The first result in Google is going to take you to Internet Archive. Just click on the first result, Wayback Machine. So when you click on it, type failurebuster.com. Failurebuster, that was the name of the site. Type failurebuster.com. And then it's going to show you old snapshots of my very first sales letter.
Wow.
Yeah. So just open it and you see the splendid goodness. In fact, I look at it now and I'm embarrassed that I wrote that thing. but that thing, if you look at it, that thing made 10,000 USD.
Wow.
Yes. So I'm getting there, right? So I'm getting there. So the thing was, so I was looking at this permanismonline.com website, right? So I was looking at it and I was basically modeling my own stuff after it. So where he said, dear friend, I put dear friend, openings. I wasn't copying it. I was just basically modeling it because it wasn't the same topic anyway. So I couldn't have copied it. Yeah. So, I was modeling it, and then it took me almost a week, but it got to the point that it was pretty decent. So I copied everything from Word, and I pasted it into Microsoft Front Page. Then there was no WordPress. We used Microsoft Front Page to design our web pages back then.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm sure some people watching or listening now don't even know what Microsoft Front Page is. So anyway, so I created that, and then I was like, hooray, now I have a website. And it displays now if you visit the web link. Okay, no, after creating that, I was like, oops, okay, I need a domain name, I need a server. And there was this company called, what was their name now? Naira Domains. It was called Naira Domains. So I called them up. They were based in Port Harcourt at the time, I think. And I bought a domain name and hosting from them. So I uploaded it. The first time I uploaded it, it didn't work. Some of the pictures didn't show up. But then I went back, I figured out what went wrong, and then it went there. So I was like, hooray! It was working. And then I suddenly realized, oops, how will people pay for this thing? I was like, my goodness. Why is it that I solve one problem and another one comes up? I solve one problem and another one comes up, right? So I was like, okay, so what do I do? I can't open a PayPal account yet. I tried to open, they opened it and blocked it immediately. So with a Nigerian address, so I was like, okay, what do I do? Then incidentally, there was this guy. He's also a very good friend of mine now. His name is Rob Panel. He's an author. He writes fiction books, right? But then he now started a side business where he taught people how to write and sell fiction books, right? So, and at the time, he was doing about 2 million a year selling his courses. So, because I started my writing career thing with fiction, I was a poet. Okay. Right? A poet that didn't make money though. So, so I was on his list. So one day I was like, what would he hurt? So I shoot him an email. I say, Rob, I follow you I'm on your list. I love your work, even though I've not bought anything yet because there's practically no way to pay here. But, I've come to see you as a mentor, and I've written this book about mentorship that I think you will like. Please read it if you have time. And if you love it, you can help me promote it to your list and tell me how much you want to take. And then the first day, I didn't hear anything back. Second day, third day, I get an email from this guy. He says, Ronald, I didn't reply because I was reading your book. Your book is wonderful.
Wow.
So I'm going to promote it to my list, but I'm going to take 80%.
Wow.
80%. I was like, geez. But then I figured, then I figured, I think I've been very perceptive over, in my life over time. I tend to see the bigger picture in a lot of situations. So when he said 80%, I was like, well, what does it matter? If he doesn't promote it, I get zero. If he promotes it, I get 20%.
You get 20%.
Right? So it really doesn't matter so much. So I said, done. So he sent me his PayPal email. So I added his PayPal email, on the web page. And then he mails it out to his list. And then I couldn't browse over the weekend. I didn't browse on Saturday. I didn't browse on Sunday. So on Monday, I go to the cafe, open my email, and what I see is the entire screen is filled with you've made a sale, you've made a sale, you've made a sale, you've made a sale, you've made a sale. Wow. I was like, my goodness, what the heck is going on? And I kept scrolling. Wow. I was like, geez, is this for real? Right? So the payment processors that were using pay.com at the time, they were sending me, so each sale that I made, they will send me a notification that I made a sale. Wow. And the next day was like that. And then the third day was like that. Jeez. And you will look at you open each one and you look at the particulars of the people who bought it and you see UAE, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Australia, USA, South Africa, Egypt, like Sweden, like crazy stuff. Anyway, so the promo ends and this guy says, you know what, I'm going to send you some money. So I said, how do you want me to send it? So I said, can you send it to me via Western Union? And he was like, no, I don't have time to go to Western Union. You send me a PayPal address. I said, but the reason why I couldn't use my PayPal is because I don't have a PayPal. I was like, you know what? Don't worry, I'll figure it out. So that's how I went to open a PayPal with a Niger address, right? And then he wired $2,000, which he said was my share. So that's how I know he sold about 10,000, right? So he sent $2,000 to that PayPal account, and then I logged in and I sent $1,000 to an exchanger who paid me in naira. There was one exchanger, one guy called Patrick. I don't know what he looks like today, right? So I sent $1,000 to him, and he sent me the naira equivalent, and I was so overjoyed. That Christmas was late. Christmas 2007.
30
Very,
December.
very late. Yeah, 30 December. I dated the entire place. And then finished all the money 13 December. And now went back in January. Those first few weeks in January. you know. So I went back and I tried to log in so that send another $1,000 to the exchanger, only to find out PayPal had blocked my account. So please, if you people know somebody at PayPal, they owe me $1,000, please. Right? So that was basically how that happened. That was how that
Wow.
happened. Yeah.
Wow. Beautiful. So that was like how your copywriting journey started. And then you went
Exactly.
ahead to start doing copywriting professionally,
Yeah. So basically,
charging for it.
yeah, doing that I found it really, really enjoyable that people would read what I wrote and actually spend money. So I was like, you know what, my days of poetry are gone and
It's over.
buried. Over. Maybe when I'm
Let's
80
write for
and
the money.
retired. Yeah, maybe when I'm 80 and retired, I will start again. Now let's write.
So you've come out the speaker again.
So that's how I started, and then I started flogging my name around as a copywriter. That's why for the first few years, a lot of people knew me as a copywriter rather than a marketing person. Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. So you don't pay for this to know. You're like practically set the pace for all of us. And
Yeah. So
we are
we
grateful.
OGs.
You work so that we could run.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
beautiful. So, sir, now you've built two businesses. Even though I know you don't do two businesses, you do a lot of other things, right? But I want you to tell us, like, especially in Africa, because what we lack in Africa, especially in Nigeria, are people who have done what they have done and then break down the process to us. That's why we buy a lot of American books, read a lot of,
Yeah.
subscribe to a lot of American programs and all, because we know that Dangote is the richest man in Africa. We know we have them $10, but we don't know their process. We don't know what they did. Their stories are not out
I
there,
know their
right?
process. Their process is government.
So nice. So,
And nobody is going to
like,
write a book and tell you, use the government because it's
so,
practically impossible for everybody to do that. That's why they won't write
so,
books. Yeah.
so, so we need more people that have actually built from the scratch, started
Mm-hmm.
from the bottom, and now we're here, right? We need context. We don't want to. I was telling somebody on my live the other day when I was hosting John Lumbella. I told him that if Grant Cardone is live on a sales call on YouTube, you hear something like, "What's the last four digits of your credit card?" And I'm like, "You cannot try that nonsense in Nigeria. I can't tell you the last four digits of my credit card. Say
Yeah.
wetin happen." so so the way business and everything works there is different from here, right? So
Yeah,
like that,
but
I'm
then
asking you now.
again, mm-hmm.
Yes,
Go
I'm
ahead.
asking you
Go
now for
ahead.
the purpose of context, for the purpose of
Mm-hmm.
Nigerian and African context. How do you start a business from scratch and scale it in Africa?
Uh, well, it depends on how you're starting because the starting get levels, like we say.
So
Some people start with $1 million. Some people start from
no,
zero,
we're
like
not we're not
us.
talking about those $1 million one. The people like us that don't have money that want to start.
Exactly. So basically, what you do is you start businesses that are simple and that can scale fast. And that's why I always tell people start online, right? Information marketing, affiliate marketing. The problem with here is that I don't know if it's the fact that the people who know don't want to explain how to do it better, or the people they are teaching are looking for shortcuts. So I really haven't placed my hand on it. But so let's take affiliate marketing, for example, right? A lot of the affiliate marketers I know abroad, and now again, like you said, their situation is different. So these guys will spend $100,000 on ads every day. I'm not saying in 1 week, I'm not saying in 1 month, daily, every day. And their target is to do a 10 to 20% ROI. That is their target. They want to do 10 to 20% ROI, return on investment. So they want to spend 100,000 and make 120,000 back. So they get a credit card that maybe has $100,000 as the limit, spending limit. So they spend all $100,000 on ads, make 120,000, and then make sure that that money is in their bank account by the next day, so that when the credit card, so that the whole
Sorry, cover the speaker again.
yeah, sorry, so that the whole thing starts again, right? So they spend 100,000 and make 20,000, then they do it every day for 30 days, and they make 600K in profit in a month. You see how that works now. But down here, people want to spend 2,000 and make 1 million. Right now, so what it means is that they are trying to fight mathematics, and you can't fight mathematics and win.
True.
It just can't. It's as simple as that. You can't fight math. Math is life. You can't fight it. So what you do is you start with businesses that you can scale. Start with something that is scalable, something that can grow fast. Information marketing is cool. For example, you have an academy, courses are going to be there. People are going to buy those courses. Courses will cost you next to zero. You create it once, you upload it once. That's it. And you can sell it for the next 50 years, as long as the content stays relevant. Right? You start that, and then you take that money and then you put it into other businesses. You don't go spending. People, again, refuse to give themselves the chance to grow. Right? So they start a business, they hit a lucky streak, right? So maybe they start an info marketing business, maybe they start with 50,000, 20,000, whatever, and then they make 1 million this month. Guess what they do? They buy an iPhone of 600K. Which is stupid. You're basically spending your seeds, right? You're basically spending your seeds. So what you do is you to reinvest back and grow, get as much money out as possible, and then look for other things, other businesses that you can now put money into. Right? That's the reason why we started a real estate company. Okay?
Oh, good.
That's the reason why we're cash positive, but not as much as we would like on the real estate. But that's because we've spent a lot of money getting it done, buying lands, setting up the office and all of that. So we're cash positive, but not by a lot. But it's 2 years in. In the next 1 year, we're going to be flush with cash. Flush.
Beautiful.
In fact, it should have happened this year until Corona happened, right? So my point is, you take money from this and then you put it into this other thing. So let me use another example. My friend Aki Alabi started out selling an ebook on how to place bets on Bet365 and Ladbrokes, all the foreign sites. And then people started asking him, is there no site in Nigeria where we can do this? And then he took the money that he had made selling those ebooks and paid a programmer to create the first basic version of NairaBet. In fact, that version was updated from the back end manually. right? So people would go online, log in, place their bets. Then he will watch the game, and then sometimes he will come and we will help out, watch the game, and then we will not manually go into everybody's bets and mark whether the bet won or lost, or
Wow.
won or lost.
Wow.
Gradually until they got to the point where the business had generated enough money. They now paid for a software. The first version, they're on version 3 or version 4 now of their software, right? So that's basically what he did. So he took money from here and started this other thing. That's how you want to grow as a small guy here. So you take all of this money and then you put it into something else, and then you take it and then you put it into something else. So for example, what we're doing, so I took money from the information business side and started an agency, marketing agency, selling to big companies, and then I'm taking that money and we put it in real estate. And we're going to take, yeah, so we took that money and put it, and we decided to do the real estate thing because we were in Russia during the World Cup, and we saw the architecture there and the hotels that we stayed at in St. Petersburg. It was marvelous. The way they built it, the way, so we're like, this is what we're going to do, right? But we want to do it from scratch. We don't want to take investor money. In fact, we were offered 150 million to start by someone, and we rejected it, right? So our goal is to build something similar to what we saw in St. Petersburg, but we are going to do it gradually. Hi, baby, I'm on a call. Okay, so our goal is to build something gradually. Yeah, my daughter. So we're going to take money from selling land and all of this, and now put it into development. Still real estate, but now development.
All right, sir. I'm going to cut you here. I'm going to end this video, and then I'm going to come back again because I think we're nearing our time limit. So I'll end this video now, and then I'll come back right again. Thank you, sir.
Absolutely. No problem.
What you liked in Russia, and then you're trying to replicate it, but you're starting gradually because you don't want to invest money.
Exactly. So basically that's it. So from marketing to the agency, from the agency to the real estate company, we call it phase 1 because it just lands now, and then from lands we're going to do developments. I look at what Grant Cardone does. The apartments he buys and all of that. I'm like, this nigga doesn't know that I'm going to do 10 times this in Nigeria.
Wow. Wow. Beautiful.
So that's the plan. So have like a 5-year plan for that. In fact, by next year, we should have our first developments. By next year, we should have our first developments. And I don't want to do the typical developments that a lot of people, because we've studied the industry, so a lot of people do 4-bedroom duplexes, single family homes. So we don't want to do single family, we want to do multi-units. Okay. Right? So we want to have buildings that have like 20 flats.
Exactly.
30 flats, 50 flats, big buildings, mighty stuff, right? And managed also, and all of that. So that is the goal. So people need to understand that if you don't have somebody in government, your dad is not rich, right? And you don't want to do Yahoo, right? And you shouldn't do Yahoo. If you do, you're stupid.
It's not an option, guys. It's not an option.
Exactly. So if all of that are not an option, you have got to start like an underdog, like a guerrilla, so like a guerrilla fighter, so they live to fight another day. So you've got to organize your stuff around that. You start with businesses that can scale fast, internet stuff, affiliate marketing, all of that. I know a guy that sells stuff on Expedia. Expedia is owned by my partner, Tony Motor Show. I know a guy there that has done nearly 50 million in sales as an affiliate.
Wow. Guys, are
Crazy
you hearing
stuff.
that? We have an affiliate marketing course, by the way. Your course is live on Kaizen, by the way. So in case you want to learn affiliate marketing, kaizenacademy.co. All right. So
Yeah.
let's go ahead.
So you can take that, and then so imagine he takes maybe half of that, and then he puts it into something else again that produces cash. You know, and a lot of the things that produce cash in Nigeria are unsexy because and this brings me to another thing. Another problem people do is that they want the sexy stuff. They want sexy businesses. Right? They want businesses that make them, so that they can say, that's my business. Who cares? At the end of the day, what matters is how much money is coming in.
Are you profitable?
Exactly. I met this man who has 25 car washes in Nigeria. 25. Right? Lagos, Port Harcourt, Warri, Owerri, Abuja, where again? I think Calabar. He has 25. And he says combined, those car washes do about 30 million a month.
30 million for car wash.
Yeah. So I told him, sir, I want to interview you. He said no.
Wow.
He said no. So basically, this guy clears maybe like 30 times 12 every single year. Now, of course, that's operational. That's gross.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So let's say after salaries and Nigeria's issues, right, and taxes and all of that stuff. So let's say they get to keep 10. That's 120 million a year.
Still very beautiful.
Now, I'm sure that if you tell people, start a car wash, they will look at it as a car wash.
Car wash.
Yeah, they will look at it as a car. Yeah, why should I start a car wash? One car wash. But no, it is the big picture that matters. Do you want to do an Uncle Bob's car wash that has only one outlet, or do you want to start with one, but with a plan to have a chain of car washes? You understand? It is the thinking behind it that matters, right? It's the thinking behind it that matters. So, the idea is just to take part of these monies and put them into other small businesses that spin out money fast. So, things like car washes, things like barbing salons, things like, you look at those things, you know, there's a barber guy that I know, right, that has sent 3 of his siblings abroad, to school abroad, from his one barber shop. One shop. Crazy stuff.
You shall say I know go barbing like this. I learned how to barb hair.
And you don't even need to know how to do it yourself.
I actually learned barbing in 2013. Maybe I should go back to barbing. Who knows?
Oh, nice. You don't even have to do it yourself. Right? So the idea is, if you're starting out as an underdog, to make a plan. The problem is people do make short-term plans. So you have long-term plans, right? What is your 1-year plan? What's your 5-year plan? What's your 10-year plan? How do you want to move? And then you stick to it and resist the urge to show off, right? You resist the urge to show off.
That showing off is a thing, and it's a challenge for many young people today.
Exactly.
They want
and the funny thing, there's always going to be something for you to show off with. There will always be new things every single year. Now, those ones are the ones doing business. You are the sucker, right? So Apple is going to come up with a new phone next year. Who wants to bet? There's going to be a new iPhone next year.
You think he ends in iPhone 11 Pro Max? There's going to be another one and another one.
There's going to be another one. There's going to be another one, and then they're going to charge you another $1,000 for it, and then they are going to declare their billions, and you are going to wow and on Twitter or on Instagram and praise Steve Jobs' ingenuity, but you are the one feeding that, right? So how about you mind your own business for a while, for a number of years, and focus on your own self. I'm sure a Samsung will do just fine. I
Exactly.
use a regular Samsung. This phone is a
Exactly.
regular Samsung, right?
Exactly. I'm even
Doesn't
my
matter.
Redmi God Sport.
This
This
don't matter.
this is an
I'm
Infinix
going to
phone I'm
buy.
using right now.
Yeah, I'm going to buy a convertible anyway.
Yeah, I've been talking about a convertible for as long as I remember. Sir, your speaker.
Oh, sorry. So the reason why I've not done it is it's not the right time.
Okay.
It would be silly for me to take that money out of the business and buy a car because a car is a depreciating asset. No,
Sure.
whether it's a drop top or convertible, it doesn't matter. In fact, the more super it is, the worse it is, the faster it loses value. Actually, yeah. Unless it is top high end, right? Like the $2 million and $3 million. Anything between $100,000 and $1 million, you buy it, it depreciates faster than a regular Toyota, right? So the most important thing is, to understand that you have a bigger goal and to work towards your goal and resist the temptations of the world because the world is going to come at you with a lot of temptation, right? Suddenly you want to have 10 women, and then suddenly you want to use the latest phones, and then suddenly you want to splurge, you want to live in a bigger house, and all of that. Those things are fine when you're generating enough cash flow to support it. If you have 20 million and you have to take 10 million to rent a house, you are stupid.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. You're taking 50% of your business world to rent a house. That is silly, right? So that's it, really.
Wow. Thank you very much. Before I go to the last question, I was going to
Mhm.
ask, is this book still on sale? I'll teach you business.
Yeah, it is for temporarily not because I'm reworking it, I'm updating it. I'm
Wow.
about 99% done. In fact, it should be
What
out
of us
next
we can
week.
buy what of us we can buy this one now?
When I go
Now
buy
that
them
you're
again,
updating
when I go back na new edition now, when I go buy new edition again.
it.
you know. So, but this edition is better. But thankfully, it's not going to be in print.
Okay.
It's going to be
PDF.
e-version,
Okay.
PDF exclusively. It's going to be PDF, so it's going to be easier to. The reason why I'm making it exclusively PDF now is so that I can update it. I can update it on the fly. So it's. I think we're going to release it sometime next week. So then the page will be up again.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. No, wahala. We are waiting earnestly. I know I read this like in one sitting or so. The book was very, 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 very interesting.
Yeah. Which one?
I'll teach you business. I'll
Oh
teach you
yeah, yeah,
business.
yeah.
First,
Yeah. Every day people keep telling me. Someone sent
first,
me. I tweeted about setting up a studio, and someone said, I'm going to give you $1 million for that studio." He said,
wow.
"Because I read your book and I've made over 14M in the last
Guys,
1 year."
I put
Crazy
hearing.
stuff.
I
So
put
he said, "I'm going
hearing.
to
They are
give
going
you,
to give you 1 million. Oh,
one person," and some other people
say put
already
hearing.
sent stuff. So some other people had already sent some money for the studio. So I'm absolutely grateful, right, for everybody. One of them is here. I think I saw his name.
Wow.
I thought I saw
Thank
Tony's
you.
name earlier. Anyway, so
Ah,
um, I hear people talk about it a lot and how it's helped them, and I know that this new one is going to do even better because this one has a lot of the stuff because I was racing to beat time so that I could release it on October 1st last year. So a lot of the things I wanted to add, I didn't add. So this time, this carries everything. This is like the book of books, you know.
Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. We wait earnestly. From
Yeah.
all the books I've been back to back, from Sell Your Brain to uh, Mentor Lesson, Triangle of Profits, and then I'll
Yeah.
Teach You Business.
Sell your
Yeah. You
brain.
have inspired some of us to become authors as well. So I sent you my book. I don't know if you have had time to even go through the book I sent you.
Yeah, I was going to mention it at the beginning. It skipped my mind.
Sent you.
I, yes, I read it. Brilliant book. Brilliant, straight to the
You
point,
are hearing
simple
it too. Brilliant
strategies,
and straight to the point.
straight to the point. I loved
I
it.
should
I
frame
loved it.
this. I should
I
frame
loved it.
this.
Yeah.
I should frame this. Remember, you just post me for Twitter. Make I just blow. Make
I
I
should
just
actually
blow.
tweet about it. So
Wow. Thank you very
what
much,
the
sir.
people are planning for our YouTube channel is to add some book reviews here and there. So it's one of the books
Okay.
that I've lined up because what I want to do is to
Wow.
showcase books by Nigerian authors a lot more
Wow.
because our authors write from our perspective,
Exactly.
right? From our perspective. And shout out to all of the foreign authors. I mean, I give it to them. I owe a lot to them. But Nigeria is a different place, man. Africa, Africa is a different place, right? So we need people who have experienced Africa to write about doing these things in Africa, right? So I want to be able to highlight a lot of books by people who have sold here, who have started businesses here, who have done stuff here. I want to highlight as many of them as possible. So we have a lot of exciting content for our YouTube channel that is coming up. We're building out. By end of September, we're going to have a crazy ass studio,
Wow.
crazy stuff. Yeah.
Wow.
So we're building that out, and
I can't
we're
wait
going
to
to be
come.
sharing a
Oh.
whole lot.
Finally, that's what to bring me to your office
Yes.
to see
Yeah.
your studio. I like to be
Yes.
there.
Exactly. You will be there. You will be there.
Thank you very much, sir. So finally, before I ask this, my mom called me this morning. I spoke with my
Mm.
mom, and she asked me, I saw your post. I think she's even watching this now. She said, I saw your post.
Oh.
Who's your big uncle? Your big uncle, your own you. I said, yeah, he's from Anambra. He's from Anambra. He's really our big uncle. So
Yeah.
I want to get your advice as a big uncle that you are. A lot of people that are watching this now are basically young people and entrepreneurs who have been inspired by you to either start their own business or
Mhm.
learn high income skills. Yeah. So, like, what's the advice you can give to entrepreneurs that are just about to start out? What should they focus on? I don't have a business yet, but I want to start one. I want to start making money online generally. What should I focus on?
Okay. I think the most important thing I need to tell them is to understand that they are going to fail. The first thing you do will likely not work. So don't give up because the first thing did not work. The second thing may even still not work. As a student, I started 4 businesses that failed.
Um,
4. Yeah, right. My first business was a call center, and then all my friends would come there and make calls and not pay.
for free,
you
exactly.
know, you know, So that was like my first adult business. And then I started a farm. We started a farm. I and another friend. Because I went to the University of Agric. So we used our school's farming equipment, the tractors and all of that, tilled the whole place. So we did a cassava farm because then Obasanjo was championing cassava flour. So we did cassava farm. We barely broke even because suddenly, after eating cassava bread on TV, Obasanjo forgot about cassava bread and nobody cared anymore. So that also didn't work out. Then we started the poultry, and then one morning we go to the poultry and all the birds are dead. The birds
Wow.
were alive the previous night, and then in the morning they are all dead. All.
Village people.
you know. So it's not be village people, Jare. I know you're joking though. Because poultry is those things are birds are sensitive. So they can be really healthy, but they can look healthy, but they've been
But
stricken
they
by
are
the
dying.
virus. And then overnight they just die. So we came there the next month and everything is dead. So you can
Wow.
imagine spending all of that money, and all these things are dead. So the important thing is not to give up. If you know what you want, decide this is what I want, and decide in your heart of hearts that you are going to do everything possible to make that happen for you. How you start doesn't matter. It is how you end. It's how you grow and how you end that matters. How you start. Because looking back in that house, no windows, no doors. If I give it, and the truth is, and I totally understand if you want to give up, because I wanted to plenty times. Knowing that I could just go back home and go back to school, rather than drink Gary from this paint bucket,
Buckets.
right? Crazy stuff, crazy stuff. So if you're starting out, just understand that you're going to fail. See, this is life testing you. Just look at life and laugh and say, "Yeah, I know you're testing me. Do quick and end this thing. Let's move for, let's move ahead. So it's going to be hard, but just stick to it, and I assure you, you are going to win. Life gives everybody a fair chance, and it is harder here, but you make lemonade with whatever lemons life throws at you.
So lemonade is bitter.
Yeah, so
We like
it
mango
is,
juice.
but it is, but we still buy it. We still buy it and drink it. you know,
Avi. Wow, wow.
yeah.
This has really been an awesome session. Awesome, awesome. So guys, do you have anything I didn't talk about? Like, do you have a question in the next 5 minutes? Let's have Uncle Ronald answer the question. Any questions so far based on what we've talked about? And what we've talked about, we don't ask another thing. Based on what we've talked about, any questions so far, let me know and let Uncle Ronald answer it in the next 5 minutes.
Oh man. Okay. Okay. I'm trying to scroll and see if there are any questions that people already asked earlier.
Why else take investors? It's his choice now.
Hi, Kendra. Hi. Thank you.
Kendra
Kendra,
Cup.
Kendra is a brilliant copywriter, by the way.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
My very good friend, Kendra, in whom I'm well pleased.
Okay, so how did you handle failure? Well, how do you handle you handle it by okay, so what I do is that I sit back and I vet, right? I vet and I ask myself, so what happened? Why did this not work? You have to be brutally honest. Sometimes it's your fault. It's not the thing's fault. So if it is your fault, then you know that you have to work on yourself and do better, right? If it is the thing's fault, maybe you did a launch and it didn't work. So maybe it's the thing. So maybe you look at your audience, maybe you look your landing pages and all of that. The important thing is that I vet and then I make sure that I figure out where the fault is. If it is a personal fault, then I chastise myself and I tell myself to do better next time. Then if it is the thing's fault, then I correct the thing. If it is somebody's fault, I blame it on myself too. Right? If it's somebody's fault, maybe I ask someone to do something and then they don't do it or they don't submit the project on time. I say it's my fault because if I had put pressure on them or if I had followed up enough, they probably would have done it. Right? So the most important thing I do is to vet and then just start again. right? Just vet and start again. Okay, so Stanley says, what are the necessary things needed to start information marketing? You need a market. You need a market that spends money, please. A market that spends money, right? In fact, you know, there are like in information marketing, it's said that the three biggest markets are the money and finance market, the health market, and the dating and relationships market. But then there are other niches that can make you money. The important thing is, do they spend money? Once you understand that, then you are good to go. So you need a market. That's the first and most important thing. You need people who will be willing to spend money to buy your information, something that you sell, and then every other thing is basically you can figure it out as you go along. All right. So what do you do when you feel unmotivated? I motivate myself for Bolaji. Like I go on YouTube and I watch motivational videos. Right. So there's this guy called is it EL? He's a black guy, one big guy, black. Uh, I can't remember the full name. I think it's or either EL or CJ. I can't remember his full name now. Right. So I listen to him, or basically you just type motivation, right?
On YouTube.
And from time to time you will feel unmotivated. It is your job to push yourself. It is your job to push yourself. Now, again, you also need to find out why you are unmotivated. So maybe it's stress. Then, but you know, if I would force yourself to lay back and just rest. Sometimes resting, relaxes your nerves, like someone said, right? And so you can relax your nerves and reset your body clock again, and then suddenly you get that spot of energy again. So that's what you do, all right? Why did you turn investors down? Because I don't want investors in my company. I don't want to dilute ownership. I want to own my thing 100%. So it might take me longer to get where I want to get to, but at least I own it 100%. Aki Alabi and his wife own NairaBet 100%. They are the only
Wow,
betting company
beautiful.
in Nigeria that don't have
Wow.
investors. Just them.
Wow.
Every other betting
Wow.
company in this country has investors. They own their company 100%. So if they make
I
10 billion,
love.
it is their 10 billion.
I love.
Exactly. That's
I
the
love.
idea. Aha.
I love.
So I just can't get started with any. What advice would you give? What do you mean, Badmos? Can you please just ask that question again? Zainab says, how do you stay consistent? This is kind of hard, but I would say I just show up every day. I just show up and do the necessary work that needs to be done. I show up, I do what needs to be done every day, right? So sometimes you have to do the work every day, but the results don't come that time as you are doing it. Maybe the results come in 6 months' time. But if you didn't do all the work of 6 months, you won't see that results in 6 months' time. So you stay consistent by just showing up and just doing what you have to do. Okay? So Stanley says, can you list those markets again? Dating and relationships, money and finance, any topic in these areas, dating and relationships, money and finance, and then health. And then travel is also a good one. Travel is a good one. Education is a good one. And a number of them, right?
All right, guys.
Yeah. How do you deal with laziness? Whoa, you go force yourself. Whoa. So this is what you do. Okay, so there's this technique that I use, right, to force myself, even if because sometimes your mind will insist on forcing you down. So what I do, I ask myself, I imagine the worst scenario possible, right? I imagine the worst scenario possible. So I say, what if I don't do what I need to do and then I lose everything. Because I have to be frank with you, I don't want to drink garri from a bucket again if I can avoid it, right? So I don't ever want to go back to those points again. So I tell myself, I imagine myself going back to that point, then I don't need anybody to tell me to go out and do what I need to do. Right? So sometimes just imagine the worst case scenario, and then it can push you to go out and be your best and be the best version of yourself.
So imagine the cost of laziness. What is it going to cost you?
What is it going to cost you? What is going to happen? Imagine the worst case scenario happening to you because of that. 6 months.
Somebody is asking a passion question.
Yeah. So someone said 6 months. Sorry?
Okay.
What did you say?
Okay. I guess somebody is asking a question on passion.
On what? Passion.
Passion.
Oh, let me see that. I like answering those kind of questions.
It says, I've read a lot of books on different businesses and skills. I can't just decide which one to do. I don't know my passion.
I don't know my passion. Look, your passion is, by the way, Badmus. And I'm not saying that passion is bad. If your passion can make money, then of course follow your passion. But I can tell you that selling CDs at seminar venues was not my passion.
Exactly.
It was what I could do at the moment. It was not my passion. I don't want to do that again, for God's sake, right? You know, so it's not about passion. It's about what works, what sells. Start with what works, then you can now make a lot of money. Learn to love it, by the way, or learn to tolerate it. Start with what works, what sells, learn to love it, or if you can't love it, learn to tolerate it. Let me even tell you guys a story. So you guys know Otumba Gaddafi, right? Shit business is serious business. The guy who started DMT mobile toilets. So before he died, right, I met him, I was in his office. And when you go to that office, it was on the outskirts of Lagos. The entire place stank of shit outside. When you walk in, the entire place smells until you go into the air conditioned. They use containers as their offices. So when you enter the offices, then because it's airtight, you don't smell anything again. But outside of inside the compound, because they are washing, especially when they are washing their evacuator trucks, right? The entire place stinks. But that business was worth 3 billion. People offered him 3 billion to buy. They offered him 3 billion to buy 70% of it. And he would tell you, shit business is. In fact, on the gates, it is written boldly, shit business is serious business. On the gates, they made a ton of money. Those guys made crazy money.
I doubt if you have the passion for smelling shit.
Because he told me, he said, Ronald, do you think shit is my passion? you know, I don't think shit is anybody's passion. He just learned to love it. See, I can bet you Badmus, if you start making money doing something, you will love it. Trust me.
Exactly.
Trust me. And then you wonder, whoa, this has actually been my passion since I just didn't know it until now. Right? So Chima says, is it advisable to build a small business with loans? No, Chima, please, as much as possible, avoid it. As much as possible, avoid it. As much as possible. The loan sector in Nigeria now is very, very sharkish and very, very predatory. The interest rates are off the charts, 18% to 24% every single month. That is crazy.
Wow.
So please avoid it as much as you can. And then Uchenna says, is 6 months the test period to see how far or so far on your journey? I don't know. It took me 4 years to make substantial money. So it's up to you, right? It's hard to answer this question because everybody is different, right? Everybody is different. But what I think you should do is that whatever you choose to do, try to find the best people at it and learn from them, right? try to find the people who are best at it and then learn from them and then implement. If you don't see result after doing your utmost best in 1 year, you probably should change to something else, right? You probably should change because it is stupid. See, motivational books can confuse people because they will tell you, keep trying, don't quit. Sometimes it is good to quit, though. Sometimes it is good to quit, but I can't tell you when to quit. It is up to you to know when you have given your best at something and quitting. But make sure you have given your best. Make sure you have covered all the bases. You've done everything humanly possible. Don't just do something and meet a small obstacle and then you say, Renard said you should quit. No, I did not say so. Right? Okay. All right. So, what's your definition of substantial money? Well, I don't know. Everybody has their own definition. My own definition of substantial money is billions, though. Right? I don't have billions in my account yet, but I know I'll have it in about a year or two. For sure, I'm not telling you story. It will happen. I know it for a fact. So that's my definition. So people are different, right? I used to, in the past, in my ebook writing days. Okay, now I write ebooks. So what am I saying? Anyway, back in the day, I used to try to force everybody, learn how to make millions, all of that. And then one day it hit me, right? Maybe I'm trying to push people unnecessarily. Some people just want to earn an extra 100,000 and they're fine. They just want an extra 100,000 to take care of extra bills and they're just fine. They don't want to make a million. And it is valid. Very, very valid. So it's up to you to decide what substantial money is to you. If it's 1 trillion, please go for it. My own is billions in dollars, so I'm going for it. I may hit it, right? I know I'll hit the naira part, yeah? The dollar part of the billion. I don't know if I'll hit it, but I hope I do. If I hit it, splendid. If I don't hit it, maybe the ones coming after me, the one you heard crying earlier, they will continue from where I stopped. And then take it to those points. Yeah.
Definitely.
So Badmu says I have been studying. Okay, so one more question, guys, so I can leave. Okay.
You don't have
so Badmu says I have copywriting as part of my skills. I read copy for your upcoming mentoring program, but your mail service is rejecting my mail. Okay. My mail is working now because the server people, they send an email. They've been working on it for about a month, but they sent an email yesterday saying that it is fine now. So you can try sending it again, even though we have a sales letter for it. But I'm going to look at it. Who knows? I will probably test it, and if it works, then I'll keep it. Okay? So just send it again. All right. So thank you, guys. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you, Uncle. It's been an awesome time. Thank you so much. Thank
you, bro. Yeah.
Can I be your apprentice? Can I be your apprentice? Go and sign up for the Ronald mentoring. Me, I'm signing up by Monday. I should sign up by Monday for Ronald mentoring. So you all should go and sign up for Ronald mentoring as well. So could you talk about that a little?
Yeah. So I get a lot of requests, people asking to mentor, but I'm a lot of people, hundreds, but I'm only one person. I had a group of people that I've been working with since last year. They're doing amazingly well, but it's a lot of time commitment, a lot of energy, a lot of money, it saps a lot, but I also want to do it for as many people as I can. Hi, baby. I want to do it for as many people as I can. So what I want to do is
we can't hear you anymore.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Don't mind me. So what I decided to do was, instead of rejecting people, because people keep asking me and I keep saying no, right? So I said, instead of rejecting people, let me just do this thing online, and figure out a way to accommodate as many people as possible. So that's why I created that. So
So
the
how do
goal
we
is to
sign
have
up?
as many people. Yeah. So we want to have as many people. In fact, that's part of the reason why we're equipping the studio. We want to make it
Okay.
as killer as possible so that we can do we're going to be doing live streams. We're going to be doing offline. We're also going to be doing wait, we'll spoil this thing. So we're also going to be doing offline live meets. We're going to be doing stage to stage. We're probably going to start with the three biggest cities: Port Harcourt, Abuja, and Lagos.
I'm your man when it
Then,
comes to Port
so we'll
Harcourt.
do
I'm your
like
man. I'm your man.
offline meetups. So we'll do offline meetups. We'll do, but majority of this of it will be online. But I also want to add the offline meetups to create that sense of, is a real mentorship thing. So
Yes.
I can meet people one on one. I can talk to them. Questions they can ask online, they possibly will ask me, and then we just make it happen that way. You are spoiling this thing. Why can't you stay in one place? Yeah? Right? So yeah, so that's it. Yeah?
So how do we sign up, sir?
Okay, so ah, the funny thing is that not put up the sales letter yet
That's
because we've been
true. Now,
so
pay stack
busy.
with daddy.
Yeah, we've been. So we're going to put up the. I'm going to put up the sales letter by Monday, I think. I'm going to put it up by Monday. But if you go to paystack.com/pay/rm, I think it's paystack.com/pay/rm. So RM means Ronald Mentoring.
Ronald mentoring.
Yeah, you can sign up there. Otherwise, just ask me on Twitter. Just tag me on Twitter and ask me, and I'll DM you the link. All right.
All right, guys. I think I'll find the link from your email and then I'll just post it on Twitter after this live.
Okay.
So
Okay. Great.
everybody can see it. So you want to sign up for the Ronald mentoring. If you have heard something now, imagine
Yeah.
what is going to dish out in the mentoring session. It's going to be wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Hope that event wanted to hold this year. Corona just came and messed it up. So,
Yeah.
but hopefully next year, we should be able to bring it to Port Harcourt.
Definitely.
All right.
Definitely.
Thank you very much, sir. It's
All right.
been an awesome time with you. I am really grateful. Thank you for showing up for us.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you
yeah.
for having me. Thank you to everybody who joined. I see a lot of people that I know. Tamilore, Ramadan. Ramadan is a great friend of mine, even though we see ourselves only 2 times a year.
Sir, are you there?
So, yeah. So thank you guys. So thank you so much. Thanks for having me, and have a great rest of the day. Okay.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much.